An odd part of childhood for me was stumbling across very weird and disturbing videos. In an age where you couldn't really tell what was real and what was just a creative means to spook you, and at a time where creepypastas were prevalent everywhere you looked, growing an interest in horror around this time was special to me. Because of a horrible childhood, I had been dead inside since middle school. As such, videos like this were kind of addicting in a way, even if I wasn't exactly sure if it was true, and even if they were a bit goofy at times, I still found myself always seeking the next big thing to really unnerve me. And so, at the start of Spooky Month, I decided, why don't we go take a trip down memory lane for some of those old videos? A few things to point out. One, there is not going to be any screamers or anything like that in this video, because I already made a video about that kind of thing last year. And also, ever since that screamer video, I decided to make an oath to never jump scare my audience over anything. Not even as a joke. So we're going to keep to that even in this video, lowering the audio and or slowing things down if I feel they're too sudden. Lastly, I'm not going to be talking about the kinds of videos that were just a person with a disorder with creepy music plastered over it, or just people dying on camera. I like to tease, not traumatize with my horror-related content here on the channel, keeping things cozy and creepy, you know? While I could be one of the 200 channels out there, playing the same 5 Kevin MacLeod tracks as I tell you about tragedies that happen to real people, I'd rather keep things fun, not have people walking away from this video half as depressed as I am on a daily basis. Alright? We all good? Excellent. Without further ado, let's get creepy, shall we? Starting off, we have a real gem, I Feel Fantastic. In it, an android sings a lovely song while someone is hammering away at that Casio keyboard in the background. When I first saw this video, it really unnerved me because of the uncanny valley effect it gave off. The unnatural movements, the monotone voice, and the weird cutaways to the android in different poses or shots of this backyard. While unintentional, it gave off a real horror vibe. But what truly scared me at the time was all the rumors surrounding this video. Because literally nobody knew what to make of this video, things quickly ramped out of control until there was this whole thing about how the android was owned by a serial killer and that random shot of the backyard is where he hid the body and all that kind of jazz. But rumors were simply rumors. In actuality, this was just an android by the name of Terra, made by a Mr. Bergeron. He had a storefront on an Android-centric website in which you could buy a DVD that had 5 videos of Terra singing original songs made by the man himself. Unfortunately, he didn't continue this project on account of the android being very hard to configure beyond simple hand and head movements, which, considering that he did all this stuff back in 2004, it not only makes sense, but also makes this immensely oppressive for the time. While I might still get stricken with goose flesh upon re-listening to this, I actually found myself enjoying the video much more now that I had closure on it, and even find the singing pretty catchy and even calming a bit. Body of a pig. This video was horrifying as a kid. The supposed story is that a group of paranormal investigators are surveying a location that had the reputation of being haunted. They're inspecting this crawl space kind of area when suddenly...
Get in. Get in. Get in.
By itself, that's spooky enough, but one of the people present ends up taking a photo around this occurring, and the video ends by showing us what exactly that photo entailed. Simple, but very effective. Not much more to say. So there was this Kleenex commercial in Japan that spawned an urban legend. How it was cursed and how everyone in the production encountered grave misfortune, and anybody who would watch this video past midnight could invoke its curse. The actual ad by itself is really nothing creepy. In fact, it's pretty pleasant. However, there was a video of somebody allegedly showing this curse in action, and that video absolutely creeped me out. They show the commercial once, just before midnight, and how everything's completely normal. But then, once midnight occurs, they play the video again, to which the following occurred. Now, I'm sure that's just really good editing on the creator's part, to which I had to say, absolutely stellar work there. But man, when it's late at night, you're reading something on the Creepypasta wiki about a cursed commercial for tissues, search it up on YouTube and see this, you're gonna be looking over your shoulder every 5 seconds, hoping you didn't somehow summon something into your house by simply watching someone else do it. Very effective video.
Там red.
Now this one is really good. This video, known as Dining Room, or There Is Nothing, is a short film made by David B. Earl. His intent behind this was to have something that looped seamlessly so that you wouldn't be able to pinpoint when it really started and when it exactly ends. This paradoxical effect continues with the actions of the woman present. Her flopping face first into the bowl is supposed to simulate her dying, only for her to rise back from the grave and proclaim,
There is nothing.
aka, she has seen what happens on the other side, and there is no heaven nor hell. It's just nothing. And while this video is plenty creepy on its own, knowing the intent and context behind this video more than doubles the creep factor, no question. Death is such a scary concept to so many people that we very much try to avoid ever discussing it in specifics, and the idea that the afterlife that many people have envisioned for themselves just isn't true, that after everything that you believed there's just nothing, horrifying, cruel even, and that's what makes this video so amazing. You know, it wasn't until I was reminded of this video that I realized this video completely traumatized me. This guy starts to notice that there's food missing from his apartment, so he sets up a camera one night to see if he can spot anything. And boy, does he spot something. Listen, fake or not, this is beyond frightening. I still, to this day, whenever it's just really quiet or I'm alone in the house, have the sneaking suspicion in the back of my mind that there is somebody in here with me. Despite the fact that we double, triple check that we've locked the doors, despite the fact that we have an alarm system, despite the fact that we would very much notice that there was another human being in this house, there's not really any space to hide in here, I still keep thinking that there's somebody living in this house with us without our knowledge. And it's all because of this video. Blank Room Soup.avi. Honestly, I think this video speaks for itself. It is quite possibly one of the weirdest, most mysterious videos out there, and can you believe that over 17 years later, we still do not have a definitive answer as to what this is? Supposedly, the best explanation that seems to have arisen over the years is that these were mascot suits stolen from a performance of some kind, and the people who stole the suits just decided to do a creepy video with them. But even that's being called into question because nobody's even really sure what the alleged performance was or can confirm that it ever happened in the first place. When I first watched this, in quiet disbelief, I was certain that somehow, some way, we would get some kind of explanation as to who did this and why. Just to help tie this up in a nice, neat little bow. But here we are, almost 2 decades after this video's existence, and we still don't know anything. We don't know the guy in the video, we don't know who's wearing the suits, where this is, or even where it came from. In fact, we know even less than we did before, because this wasn't a dark web video like so many people believed for years. It was on YouTube back in 2005 under the name Freaky Soup Guy. This video is an enigma if I've ever seen one, and if anything, it just makes this whole thing even more disturbing. Real quick, you remember when the clowns happened? What was that? No, I'm being quite serious here. What on earth was that? Just all of a sudden, all over the world, clowns. Just clowns. They were destroying pumpkins on people's porches. They were chasing people on the street. You couldn't even take a nice Sunday stroll one evening without just seeing one standing in front of a billboard above a highway waving at you. That's all I really wanted to say. Just a quick tangent, don't mind me. Ghost videos were insanely prevalent around this time, and those were a gamble because some videos you would get plain old footage, and other videos you end up falling for a screamer. When writing this, I remembered one ghost video, or Poltergeist to be more specific, that astounded me when I first saw it. I couldn't find it for the longest time, but I finally stumbled upon it again. Once more, I just have to say, whoever made this, immensely well done job here. It really blurs the line into making you think it's real, which as a teenager back in the day, was all you needed to go to bed that night clutching the covers. Username 666 was an especially well done video back in the creepypasta era, the idea being that there's this user on YouTube simply known as 666, and if you tried to go to their channel, you would see nothing but a suspension notice. However, if you kept refreshing, it would corrupt your browser and eventually show you the elusive user. From there, it all starts kicking off. This stellar video was made by Nana825763, or Piropito, and the reason I mention them specifically is because years after the fact, I actually stumbled across another video of theirs without even knowing they made both. And even though this was supposed to be about classic videos, this one is absolutely one of the best videos I've seen in the past 5 years, and I want an excuse to gab about it. A video called My House Walkthrough. Our protagonist awakens, stating that the wind woke them up. They then proceed to give a tour of their house, as the sounds of wind and dripping water accompany the tour. They show how the house is in a state of disrepair. Things are damaged and ruined, and yet, when they reach the end of the house, they're brought back to this hallway, slightly different each time, but constantly repeating. They come across their grandparents, or at least, what's left of them. The house is getting worse, more and more distorted as they return to this hallway, and it ends with the person returning to their room. I love this video. The tone it sets, the sounds, the way the lighting causes your eyes to play tricks on you, and just the slow burn of things going wrong over the course of 12 minutes. While this video is a masterclass as is, it's what this video is most likely about that makes it even more effective. This video was made in October of 2016, and earlier that year, a typhoon occurred in Japan, Typhoon Mindali. It swept through, causing millions in property damage, delaying the plans of several citizens and even injuring 61 people. But most importantly, 3 people passed away due to that typhoon. You're piecing it together, aren't you? I know, you're pretty smart. This video is about that typhoon, and our protagonist is a spirit, showing us their home struck by the natural disaster, how everything they knew and loved about it, including their family, is gone, only for them to return to their room and take their final rest. As I said, I absolutely adore this video, and finding out that it was made by the same person who gave my teenage self a spook almost a decade ago, I felt I just had to give them some extra time in the limelight. Be sure to give Piropito some love, as they're actually in the process of making a horror game. And you know, if their videos are amazing, that's gonna be fantastic as well, so keep your eyes peeled. I'll have a link to their videos as well as the others featured in this video in the description. But that will do it for today. Creepy or disturbing videos are a dime a dozen on YouTube. I'm sure you have some favorites, so share some of yours that haunted your childhood or fascinates you now as an adult. But only if you want to. Thank you all so much for watching. Be safe out there. I'll see you guys next time, and take care. Special thanks goes to B17 Balder, Dr. Nira, Chimera, DJ Zapper 128, and fortunately Michael for being $5 patrons on Patreon. Thanks also goes to my other patrons and of course you guys watching at home for supporting me any way you can. Thank you all again for watching the video. I hope all of you have a wonderful rest of your day.